Tesla could be going big with this, just like they could be going big in Texas.
Did we not
Saw
talk
that one
about this
coming a
yet?
mile away.
Because everything is bigger in Texas.
Did we not talk about this yet?
We didn't.
I tried to tease it up earlier, but you rejected my tease.
Sorry.
Just like high school all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I thought this was last week news, though. No?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, this is kind of
Happened in the
official.
last week.
Okay.
This is kind of the official news.
Oh.
Yeah, this was last Friday. This news came out.
Okay.
So people that aren't watching my screen right now have no clue what we're talking about. Tesla's next factory, apparently, rumored, somewhat confirmed, I don't know, is going to be in Austin, Texas, which
Otherwise
is
known
near
as
Austin, Texas.
Yes. Jeez. Our poor
But
viewers.
also, so this is from Electrek, and they have a source familiar with the matter. And then they go down like, this source has been reliable on multiple occasions before. And then you see other news outlets saying, oh, it's actually, going to be between Texas and somewhere else. Now, this is supposed to be the General Assembly facility currently. So it's not going to be making batteries, still be getting batteries from the Gigafactory in Nevada. And they're calling it the Terafactory. And apparently it's on the map. Have you guys seen or heard about this?
Yeah.
Like if you navigate, so Tesla navigation, Terafactory. So apparently if you're in Texas, you can actually go search for Terafactory Austin and it shows up.
No way.
Yeah. And there's nothing much there right now, according our friend of the show, Anwar Beck, who lives in Austin, drove there. Said there's really not much going on now, but could see it in the future. I'm sure he's overjoyed if this is true.
Right.
I think Austin makes sense. It's an interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Like I think Texas has generally had an anti-Tesla stance with all the laws and stuff, so it's kind of funny. But now it's like
that interesting too. Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, but you're gonna put 20,000 jobs here. Let's party. We love you.
Well, that's what I saw that the governor or someone said, like, was telling Elon, like, please come here to Tesla or Texas loves Tesla. And someone immediately responded, does that mean you'll like, yeah, it was you.
Me.
Yeah.
That was me. I got like 1,000 likes on that tweet. It was funny.
What'd you say again? Just, it was something like, does this mean you'll actually let Tesla sell your cars in your state?
Yeah. So funny. And then just today I saw, before starting the show, Tulsa, Oklahoma erected a statue or something.
Well, I think they changed the statue.
I actually have it pulled up right here. I can share it.
Yeah, show that, because that's so.
So okay. They didn't erect the statue. Can we just say the word erect one more time? This was called the Driller, and I forget the name of the company. I was looking for it down here.
T-Boone Pickens.
No, it's the Golden Driller is what it's called. So it was like from an oil company from way back in the day, and it is not in this article. This is from the Drive. But yeah, they painted it with Elon's face and the big Tesla logo on there. And here's a shot down here with a DeLorean in front.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, to try to lure him in to do Tulsa. So
that's funny.
I don't know how official the Austin thing is.
Right.
Electrek is making it sound pretty official, but I think there's still a little bit up in the air about it.
Well, Tesla hasn't confirmed it. So yeah. I think Austin makes sense. I mean, Austin's definitely a cool town. I think a lot of people like from California would want to come there, to help head it up. Because when these things happen, and I've been through some stuff like this, not with manufacturing, but with call centers and stuff back in the day, usually what you have is like, hey, here's a really good, like, let's say we have a call center. We're like, yeah, we're going to move to the Philippines. Okay, cool. Well, let's take some of our top leaders from this one, send them over there for like a year and pay them buku bucks so that they can really kind of oversee it and get things going because they know it, right? So I would imagine it wouldn't be a super hard sell to get people living in the Bay Area that work at the factory that have, lots of experience or something to head down there to lead up new departments to kind of get things going and make sure it runs smoothly. If you did like other places in Texas are far less desirable to live, I guess I would say. But yeah, so I think it makes sense.
I've been assuming that the Cybertruck factory would be in Texas because of the the steel thing with Boca Chica, and they've already got like a supply chain going in that regard. So I've been assuming that all this time, and I guess Tulsa's not, in the grand scheme of things, that much further away. But
Well, it depends where you get your batteries from, right? I mean, that's kind of the big deal. If I don't think it makes sense to make a new battery factory. It does sound like Gigafactory expansion is back on. Like, if you guys are unfamiliar, like, it's still only like 30% built.
that's another thing, is I'm like, maybe they should finish the Gigafactory.
Yeah, exactly. And whenever they're asked about earnings calls, they're like, well, it's producing enough batteries for our cars. Like, we'll continue to build it out as demand, you know what I mean, as it makes sense. So it sounds like it would just make sense for them to finish that and then just start shipping all the stuff. You know, that's how I thought Colorado made more sense for a factory, because it's quite a bit closer. Although, depending on where, I guess there could be mountains and stuff you have to deal with. But they have to deal with that now with the Sierra Nevadas, I think, between Reno, where the Gigafactory is, in San Francisco. I think that's the Sierra Nevada mountain range you have to go over. So it sucks. I mean, from a shipping standpoint.
One of the things I don't understand, and I don't mean to, I hope we're not going to like capitalism in America, because here we go, we're gonna trigger Ben. But why is it like, okay, all these states all of a sudden are, you know, when they start fighting for a company, like, hey, we'll give you tax breaks.
Yeah.
Why is that like legal? Because a small car company or like a small company doesn't get incentives like that. Like, hey, we'll pay you X amount. You know, like, it's all of a sudden when you get to the top, like Amazon, you start getting all these handouts because you're at the top and you have this big influence. It's like, wait, they're already crushing everyone, and now they're getting more opportunities and things handed to them on golden platters because they can bring all these jobs. It's like, how does that seem fair? Like, they should be paying more because they can afford to pay more because they're making the most money. But now they're getting paid.
Well, it's long-term versus short-term, right? I mean, the Gigafactory in Nevada, they got, I forget what it was, like $1.7 billion in basically like not having to pay taxes on $1.7 billion or something, like in tax incentives. It's because they're going to bring, 50,000 jobs there or something like that. The Buffalo Gigafactory, same deal. They in order to qualify for the incentives, they had to hire a certain number of people and do all that. So, like, imagine if you're the mayor of a town or, governor in this case or whatever, you're looking at it going, hey, this could bring a huge amount of jobs, help the economy locally. We're not going to see that immediately because it's going to take years to get going. But as I mentioned earlier, once you have a 5 million square foot factory in place, it's really just impossible to move that. So they're going to be here for the long term. And so that, I think, will help. Like I think politically, that wins a lot of points with voters of, hey, they brought, this company here, whatever. But then when you look at from the economist point of view, like the Amazon ones, the headquarters, remember they pulled out of one of them because he looked at it. It was like, it was a terrible deal for the cities they were going into.
Right.
Like, it actually turns out, they're not going to hire your locals. We're going to ship in our own people, and they're just going to exploit your whole town.
Right. And raise rent prices and all these things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, I think, but you're right. And then this is where, and that happens for every industry, for every company. So, for example, the oil industry has, and you can go look this up, there's all these websites about subsidies for oil, because people got mad about, oh, you get a, $5,000 off your electric car, like that's communism or something. And you're like, well, yeah, but the oil companies don't have to pay for the land that they are on. Right? What about that? They don't have to pay taxes they don't have to pay property taxes on like millions and millions of square miles of land. What the hell? That's a handout to them. So everybody gets subsidies for everything. Really, they do. How much and where. And the idea is always like, it's going to benefit us as the community in the long run,
Yeah.
I think that ass kissing is a universal constant.
Yeah.
Like, if you go into a bank with $1 million, they will roll out the red carpet to open an account and give you all kinds of, interest and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then if you go over on your account, they charge you money.
Right.
That you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just how the world is.
Feels like it's, I mean, I know you got to make rules, there's rules in place for everything, but at the same time, it's like, man. Yeah, I know that's like the whole, we're getting into like the whole philosophy of basically everything now, but yeah.
everything spirals.
It's always been this way, and it sucks. But like a similar example, I don't know if you guys have followed it at all, but the visual effects industry for movies has been completely, I'm not going to say decimated, completely devastated by this. In fact, the movie industry as a whole has been really affected because what you're seeing is Canada and other countries and stuff laying out the red carpet for these movie studios or whatever to come film there and making it super duper cheap. Whereas like California is not doing that, and then like I think, how was it this year? Within the past couple of years, there was actually a bill. I don't remember if it passed, but it was to approve basically a huge tax incentive, tax subsidy for Hollywood. And so you look at it and you go, what the hell is that? Like, does Hollywood need more money? And the answer is like, no, the movie studios don't need more money, but they are all going to leave. And the tens of thousands or, 50s and hundreds of thousands of people working in that industry are going to be without jobs if that whole thing leaves. So you kind of have to
leave with
like, because other places like Tulsa or someone is like, yo, free everything, just come here and do something because it'll help build an industry. So that's just how it all works.
That's been a struggle here in Texas for a long time, is to get them to pass legitimate tax breaks for film and video for the film industry. I mean, I was a part of some lobbying campaigns for a while back when I was more involved in all that. It's really frustrating because like New Mexico has really great tax incentives. Georgia has amazing tax incentives.
Yeah,
like half of
what
you
in
see
Atlanta
gets shot in Georgia. Yeah. Just look at a peach. At the end of the credits, if there's a peach and it says made in Georgia, that's because of the tax incentives there. So the problem with Texas is if you want to shoot something that's like a West Texas kind of thing, just go to New Mexico because all the tax credits there. If you want more East Texas, then you can just go to Georgia, or Louisiana used to have good ones. So I'm sorry, when you brought that up, I'm like, I have specific
that's exactly right.
With that.
There's, and if people really want to go down the rabbit hole, there's a place called what was it called, Rhythm and Hues. I think it was like a very legendary kind of visual effects company.
Oh yeah, Rhythm and Hues.
Yeah, and they went out of business because of this, and it's insane. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, going back to the point, like this is just how it's always been done, is subsidies and taxes. Back in the day, it was like the good old boys handshake deals. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But now it's just out in the open in terms of no property taxes for certain. This is like, why is Houston the oil capital? Well, it's largely because of the tax structure that they have set up for the oil industry. Money moves. Money creates incentives and actions, and
in Discord, what's in a mojito? I guess he's in Louisiana. He said Louisiana's pretty bad about the tax incentives for film. I remember when I was really getting into this for a while, and I was going to get a film funded, and I was trying to make that happen. I mean, you could literally get back half of your budget through the tax incentives in Louisiana by shooting there. I mean, and that's a huge thing when you get into the budgeting of films and stuff. I mean, it's like that means you could literally increase your budget by a third, and if you properly allocate and you have your strategy down, you could actually make back that money in the distribution.
I wonder if there's been any long-term studies on that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, we know of things like sports teams and sports stadiums and what that brings and what it doesn't and all that. But the film industry is a very interesting one because it's pretty transient, I would say. Like Titanic, in a large part, was made in Mexico, in Baja, Mexico, just south of me. And you can still go there and see they still have like a ship and some other things that you can just drive by. And that town, there was a town, I think it's called Popotla, that basically sprung up in order to support the cast. Hey, you've got thousands of people or hundreds of people working here. They got to eat, they got to sleep, they got to do these things. And that town still exists. It's kind of literally you park your car on the beach and they go catch a crab right there. And, it's a very small kind of little thing, but that really was nothing before. So I don't know. Is it good or bad? What's the long-term strategy? Who knows?
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks everybody.